don't want to. This is stupid.
Yep.
Why do we have to get off the boat just to turn around and come back in 5 weeks? Why can't we just stay?
So how was our room?
The room was fine. Everything was clean and in working order. The only complaint, and there's nothing you can do about it, is the fact that this is a very rattly room.
Mm-hmm.
When the engines are going, especially when they're trying to turn the boat. Very rattly room. But the back of the ship is rattly, so there's nothing you can do about it. The fact that everything worked was far more important than a little bit of rattling.
Mm-hmm.
Bed was amazing.
Yep.
Very, very comfortable beds on this cruise ship. We haven't had a bad one yet.
Yeah.
There was plenty of space, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there were cabinets we never even used. So.
Yeah.
And I think we overpacked.
I
think we're going to be a little bit lighter next time.
Well, to be fair, I thought we had Palo brunch and regular Palo, so I packed for that. And if I would have really realized, I would have not brought 2 dress shirts. But
next time.
Yep.
Next time you have to do that. And I'm not ironing them. You find a dry cleaner. Take care of that in the next 5 weeks, because I don't want it. I'm not ironing again. I burned my finger. No, I would say this was one of our best cruises. Just way too damn short. 2 days at Castaway Cay poses a problem, and I will have to tell you about that later, because we have 6 minutes to get to breakfast, and it's in the middle of the ship.
Yeah. So we're going to do like a breakdown in the car. I just wanted to start the filming day here.
Yeah. Let's go to breakfast.
Alright, so another full circle moment happened this morning. I've been looking for him the whole cruise, and finally found Barack, our head server from the Dorian cruise. So he's not wearing his glasses though, so there was another server that looked kind of like him, and then I read his name tag and it was something like Vic or something. Like, no, that's not him. So I thought it was another false alarm, like, no, I hate you! So there we go, we had Yuri, we saw Barack.
I wish we had seen Gonzalo. Apparently he was our waiter in 2015, and apparently he's the manager at Palo, is what I was told. We didn't see him when we were there, but we weren't looking for him either, so we will definitely look for him next trip.
Right. If anything, I was looking for him in the main dining room. So
yeah,
wrong answer. Yep.
Yeah.
Actually,
Fresh from the cove.
Coke and orange juice, please.
There's like fresh from Cabanas and fresh from the cove.
Okay, if you say so.
Alright, so it only took all cruise, but I feel like I should say something about this. This is kind of old news because they've been doing this at the parks, but they're also doing it on the ship, so there is no paper menu. You use the QR code. And I know some people aren't fans of this sort of thing, but actually, I'd say 90% of the time it works every time to get this thing to go. But yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal to just scan and read it on your phone. I don't know if paper menus are at all available, or if it's just one of those deals that they'll have to just tell you like what there is if you can't get it to go for some sort of reason. Thank you.
Thank you. This is delightful. I have a little muesli and a big old cream cheese. Happy.
And behold the Route 66. The little butter. So we managed to forget stuff in the room. Good old fridge. So one more trip down the goofy hallway. This is the first time all cruise that one of these royal chairs has been open. Every single time we walk by, someone's been in it. It's disembarkation day. So my stupid thought was, hey, I never saw this. And because it's a video screen, it changes. So. does say stop, so. And we're off the ship. Bye, Disney Dream.
Hello. Oh, I have makeup on. This is fun. We were just doing our little post-mortem, as Ethan calls them, of the cruise, so we thought we'd bring you into the conversation. So, the first thing we do when a vacation is over is we get in the car, we get on the road, and we play a game. I think Todd came up with this, called Highs and Lows. So let's start there, shall we? Let's start with the lows. It's over. DCL Wi-Fi went out at one point, and apparently Castaway Cay had gotten struck by lightning, so there wasn't like very little Wi-Fi, I guess at one point there wasn't even power on Castaway. The first day we were there, the cooking crews had to go from using, what did they say they were using? Propane. They had to actually use coal to cook after 1 p.m. But they made it work, and I had no idea. Somebody told us.
We were blissfully ignorant because we had
already eaten. Yeah, we had eaten early, so. Boy, this road is bumpy. Any lows?
Well,
You knew we were going to play this game.
I know, but I'm just thinking, like, I guess we'll call it a low, but it's kind of another conversation unto itself, is we really didn't do all the stuff we thought we were going to do.
Yeah, so this cruise was 2 days at Castaway Cay, and it was just a 3-night cruise. So that was literally it. You had no sea day. So you're torn. I mean, the 2 days at Castaway is fantastic, but you get no time to do anything on the ship. So it actually, there's a downside to it. I never thought of that. I think if you had a sea day and 2 days at Castaway, that would be better. But my guess would be that sea day would be, every activity would be totally swamped. The second day at Castaway was a lot less crowded. We were at the adult beach both days. The first day we could barely find seats. We got there after lunch, and we could barely find a set of chairs. The second day, 2/3 of that beach was empty all day long. It was a great day. Anything else you can think of as a low? There was some kind of miscommunication or something between the DCL app and the restaurants. We went to go have breakfast. The app said 7:30 Enchanted Garden would open for breakfast, and they opened at 8. So we ended up in Cabanas one day. But again, it's not like we weren't fed.
It wasn't like a deal breaker in whatever cruising out.
Right. Yeah.
More of an annoyance.
Well, and he took our room number, and we didn't even get a note or anything. So whatever, not a big deal. Big enough that I mentioned it. Okay, let's move on to the highs. And I'm going to go highest of highs and give a huge shout out to Rich and Cassie. They were the moderators of the Facebook group that I had joined, and it was a good group. I actually was very active. Usually I join these Facebook groups and I just don't say anything. I just read the conversations and get whatever information I can, and they couldn't shut me up on this one. So one of the threads that was started was, when you get on board, post a picture of yourself. So I did, and that night in the adult bar, Cassie recognized me and stopped us, and we talked, and we ended up sitting with them, and then we ran into him again Sunday. getting on the tram to go to Castaway. So we talked the whole tram ride. We got out to Serenity Bay. They had a cabana, so we split up. We went to the beach. They went to the cabana, and as we're walking down the beach, Rich calls my name and says, "Why don't you guys join us? We've got the whole cabana. See, it's for 4 people. Why don't you just come spend the day with us?" Which I thought was so nice and so sweet and so appreciated. We had the best time. We had such a nice time getting to know them and spending the day with them. So, and Ethan had gone out to the water, and I had told them, said, "Well, you guys were out in the water." I already told Ethan, I said, "I'm sending Facebook friend requests." And they actually beat me to it this morning. So that was kind of cool. So that was a massive high. What else?
Well,
Your turn. I love that you can't.
I think our second day at Castaway was indeed better than the first, but
First
double
was-
dip Castaway, I mean, it's been something we've always wanted to do, and we finally have done it.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
The going to Castaway in August versus going to Castaway, the last time we were there was January of 2020. The water temperature was night and day. I did not go in the water in January 2020. It was cold. This was perfect. It was a little cooler than the air temperature, but it was absolutely perfect. There was no getting used to it. It was just a nice water temperature. So I spent a lot of time in the water. My back is a little burnt right now, a little crispy, and of course it's right along that strip in the middle of your back that you can't reach by yourself. Yeah, of course it is.
Next high was Paulo.
Paulo would be considered another high. We got our favorite server from Paulo, Yuri, and that just totally made our day.
And the thing is, with the pandemic and everything, when you got people from out of the country, you just don't know if they're going to be able to be back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or want to come back. I mean, who knows what the situation is.
Yeah, I mean, 18 months without a job, you may have found something else. So it was really nice to see all of the cast members who were back. Yeah, so we did actually spend a lot of time this trip talking to cast members. But Yuri was our favorite server at Apollo, and we got him again, and it was great. What was I going to say? Oh, okay, Paulo. The menu has changed. Well, the menu so much hasn't changed, but the way they're doing things has changed. So they have a prefix menu with 2 choices for salad, 2 choices for appetizer, 2 choices for dinner, and 2 choices for dessert. That is a $45 charge, which is what Paulo would have been anyway. Or you can go a la carte, which has most of the rest of the items that were on the normal menu. And you can just pay for your meal that way. So that's what we ended up doing. I didn't like either of the salad choices on the prefix. I didn't like either of the appetizer choices on the prefix. And I didn't like either one of the dessert choices on the prefix. So I went with what I wanted. And so did Ethan. And I added it up this morning. And my meal was $41. His meal was $39. So we actually ended up saving a few bucks. When you are platinum, you get a $45 credit per person in your stateroom for Paulo. We're gonna have to order more food. Because I hit platinum this trip. That means I've done 10 cruises on Disney Cruise Line. So my next trip, we get $45 credits. Which is great, because then it's just going to be like gratuity, and he always ends up getting a glass of wine. So it was really nice. drawings and make it into a movie. That one I like. But the Crush show is just, nobody cares. Everybody just sits there and stares at the thing. I realize some people enjoy it, and that's fine. You do you. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I never have.
I think the statistical breakdown is it skews negative as far as you can see people kind of like trying to eat.
Yeah.
Come on, dude, talk to me.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah. So, at one point he was trying to get the center of the room to do the wave. And I think there was one table. And they were not doing the wave properly. I don't know what they were doing. Any other highs? It was a good cruise. It was smooth seas. Holy cow, was it smooth? Maybe I'm just getting used to getting caught in hurricanes, but man, that was a smooth cruise.
Yeah.
We, after our first day at Castaway, we came back and we took a nap. When I woke up, I didn't think we had left Castaway yet. But we were out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And you literally felt nothing. And we were on a part of the ship where our room would literally vibrate when they turned on those back engines. And they had to have done that in order to get us away. We didn't feel a thing. Now, to be fair, I did check my Fitbit. I slept for 2 hours and 45 minutes that afternoon. I got full reports on my Fitbit, so I was out. We averaged 10,000 steps. I averaged 10,000 steps a day.
Yeah, I don't think I did.
Which was huge. My knee it's better right now, but oh man, it was throbbing all weekend. But we had stopped going to Disney because I was so afraid one of us was going to get sick before this trip that we haven't been to Disney in like 3 weeks. I've said I will go as long as I feel safe. And with the uptick in people showing up and the resurge of virus, it didn't feel safe, and I wasn't risking losing this cruise. It's not going to happen. So, we can go back until I freak out again. But apparently crowds have gone down, so.
So if we said before, because, we crammed a lot into 3 days, but one of the cast members was telling us that, one of the servers, I think, was saying that everybody on the crew was vaccinated.
Oh, yeah, I asked about, because I know that when everybody, all of the crew came back and everybody landed at the airport, they were all quarantined for 2 weeks. At, I think, like the Marriott near the airport, and then the Caribe Royale, which is actually right by our apartment. So everybody on board had been quarantined, and all of the crew on board is vaccinated. It was a requirement to come back, which was kind of interesting because then our server was telling us about the vaccinations in India, and that it's a two-dose vaccine in India, in case you were wondering. So they're all vaccinated. Because I was wondering, with the whole Bahamas saying that cruise ships, everybody had to be vaccinated, I was wondering if if the crew was vaccinated. I just keep saying that word over and over again. Or if they were going to have to make some changes and get some people vaccinated, but they've already complied with that part. So it's just the passengers. And that nothing has been said yet. Disney has not commented, I don't think, on. Well, I don't know. I've been on a cruise ship for 3 days. I don't know what Disney's done. But one of the cast members I talked to didn't have an answer yet as to how things are going to go after September 3rd. But we'll find out. Because we have a cruise in September. Woohoo!
So this is neither a high or a low. This is just a word of advice. Vax. If you're going to cruise.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to cruise Disney.
It just made it easier. It made the whole getting in, getting out process so much easier than if we hadn't been vaccinated. Yeah. And the saddest sight we saw this entire trip was 6:30-ish on embarkation day. We saw the two dreaded Disney cruise buses pull up. And it was far, they'd already pulled up the gangplank, so it was far too late for those to be guests arriving. They were for the people that were turned away. I don't have any numbers on that, but we did see those cruise buses pull up. So don't be one of those people. Read everything you're supposed to read. Get everything. Cross your T's, dot your I's. Make sure you haven't missed any steps. It's all spelled out. It's all very easy. Even if you need testing, it's all explained.
All right, so here's another thing. I'm not going to really call it a high or a low. I'm just going to call it a thing that happened.
Okay. You do that.
That is, we expected characters of the Waz, and instead it was some.
Well, I think we weren't looking.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we didn't go to the theater when they were doing the...
Yeah, we never walked.
Character.
Yeah, we never walked through where they were doing any of the meet and greets. We went through the atrium a handful of times. I think just because normally that area is so packed, I think we just naturally take routes that don't take us through the atrium. But the atrium's basically empty these days. If you need something from guest services, you use the app. You can either chat with somebody and get things resolved that way, or you can book an appointment. I did it both ways. I don't even remember what my issue was the first time that I ended up chatting with somebody. And then later on I did need to go down and talk to somebody, and I booked an appointment, and it was super easy. They handled the requests that I had really fast. The crew is just constant smiles. They were always kind of like that, but now it's even more. They're so happy. They kept thanking us for coming back, and I kept thanking them for being there for us to come back too. I know they're happy that they've got their jobs again, but man, I'm happy that we can do this.
But yeah, once again, Disney makes it very difficult to do anything else, because you hear the stories about such and such cruise line had such and such outbreak, where they weren't doing all the right things in all the right ways. And with Disney, it's like we just knew it going into it, that there's not going to be any horsing around. That there's going to be, if there's supposed to be social distancing, there's going to be. Oh, so this was a high. I think we've said it before, we just didn't say it in this context. It was the muster drill.
Oh, the muster drill is fantastic. First of all, the whole embarkation thing was amazing. Your number got called, your boarding group number got called, you get taken through, and they take 10 groups at a time. They put you in the atrium on little dots. They do a little sail away doodad thing with Mickey and Minnie, and then you stand on your dot and you wait for a cast member. When the cast member comes, they ask you, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to lunch? Do you want to do your mandatory safety drill? Or did you want to go to your room? Because the rooms were available at 2:30, somewhere in there. And you got to pick which one you wanted to go, and then they would point you in that direction. But we were able to go to the room, drop off our stuff, and then go to our safety drill. You show up at your letter that's on your key to the world card. There's somebody manned at every station, and if the app is working, this was the one issue that we had with the app, you take a picture of the sign, and that's how they know that you were there. But the app wasn't working. There was no Wi-Fi at that point, so she just wrote us down on her clipboard. We got to hear the horn 2-3 times, so that was phenomenal. I cried a little bit. Turns out I did watch enough videos that I desensitized myself a bit. Yeah. So it's one party or two individuals per elevator. The place where this is going to be a problem is midship. That's where most people grab the elevator. So if you can finagle things where you're taking the back elevator, the aft or the forward elevators more so than the midship, you shouldn't have a problem getting an empty elevator. It's those midship ones that it's like, oh, forget it, I'll just take the stairs. And I saw more than one family go, oh, forget it, we're just going to take the stairs. Because those things are busy. So, but I don't think aft, I think one time the doors opened and there was somebody else in there. And at forward, I don't think it ever happened.
Well, like on the Magic, the elevators are so small anyway, it's like by default, it's like the best you can hope for is two people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but on the Dream, it's like I just worried. But see, I think with Dorian, we were down 1,000 passengers.
Right.
And we thought that was like ghost town. And now we were told today it was 1,400. And 200 of that was kids. So.
Yeah, there were only 200 children on this trip. Somehow we ran into all of them.
Right.
Don't ask me how.
So again, as they ramp up and more people are cruising, then
yeah,
you know, the elevator situation might change in such a way that stairs might be more the option.
Oh, the pools. So they are only allowed so many people in the pool at the same time, and then if there's a line, the lifeguard will blow a whistle, and you get out of the pool. If you want to get back in line, you can, but then the next group gets to go in, and I think you get 10 or 15 minutes. And I heard people complaining about, not on the ship, but beforehand, I heard people going, well, if I can't be in the pool or my kids can't be in the pool, that's ridiculous. They have to get out, and yada, yada, yada. It didn't seem to be an issue. There was almost never a line. I heard that whistle go off one time.
Not that we didn't know what it was.
I was just saying. No, yeah, I knew what it was. Now, to be fair, we don't normally hang out in the middle of the pool deck, but we sat there and had lunch, and I only heard the whistle blow one time while we were at lunch. So I don't really think that that's a big issue. I also don't think it's a bad idea to take a 10-15 minute break when you're little and you've just eaten a bunch of hot dogs and stuff. Get out of the pool. Relax. Calm down. Let's go on. We got to see Beauty and the Beast. The doors open a half an hour before the show. I would say try to be there at least 15 minutes ahead of time in order to get a decent seat where you're seated in the center and not off to one of the sides. They leave 3 seats in between every party. No, it's 3. They were leaving 3. And every other row. So it is limited seating. Same thing with any of the activities. If you want to do something and it's at 10:30, get there at 10:15. We did the 80s music trivia last night. 4 groups tied. We were one of them. I saw they were turning people away. There were not enough seats in the pub. And yeah, so it closes, you know, the participation closes at a certain point. So it may not be an issue, but it could be. So get there a few minutes early. Don't wait until the exact time. I would like to talk about the things that we didn't get to do that we thought we were going to. Bingo. We were going to go play bingo, and it just, because of the 2 days at Castaway, there was never enough time on the ship to actually go and do stuff. So we did not get to do the bingo. We did not go see Jungle Cruise. The times didn't work.
Probably more favorable for the next cruise.
We never even stepped foot in the spa, not even during the preview thing. We never got ice cream cones. We did it on Castaway.
Yeah.
We didn't do it on the ship.
But it was the same setup, and
Doesn't count.
worked out nice.
Doesn't count. We did get gelato. Sure, don't get the free ice cream. Get the one you have to pay for.
That's right.
What else didn't we do that we thought we were going to? You had a list.
Shuffleboard.
Oh, yeah, the shuffleboard. I never saw the stuff out ago, we saw a video of somebody playing it on a prior
And mini
cruise.
golf.
Oh, mini golf we were going to do too, and that never happened. I don't know if that was set up or not.
It was not set up on
Embarkation Day?
And
Okay.
from then on, we just never made it up there at all. So.
Okay. Yeah, my knee didn't like getting up to level 13. Can't think of anything else. I don't know. But this is a really long. We've been talking for, I don't know, 27 minutes. Have fun editing this, sweetheart.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
How about this?
No!